So besides Jordan Morris being a tough kid, what's the prognosis?
Well, we're talking. Okay, so we're going to talk. He's obviously ruled out for the weekend, and we're not talking about days anymore. We're talking about weeks with this one. The MRI came back, and it showed a significant strain. But he is a tough kid, and we'll take it week by week. Remember last year when he tweaked his hamstring. So this one, obviously, a little bit more than last year, but he came back in a relatively fast fashion. So taking it by week, and definitely out for this weekend. And then time will be the good factor, the bad factor, whichever we want to look at. If he comes back in time to, help us, great. If not, that's totally up to his healing process.
And when you say strain, that's the same thing as a tear?
No.
A serious strain, no.
No. I don't have that medical background to give you the exact details. All I know is that they're telling me it's a week issue, not just days. Normally I would say he'd be back in as soon as he's ready, he's going to play. With this one, I got to temper that a little bit.
With the injury like this one, you have to be real careful of not rushing a player. Do you allow that to be the medical staff, the player, or the way the team is going?
I think he's cognizant of when he'll be ready. He's smart enough. He's old enough. He's went through little aches and pains, his ankle injury earlier in the year, stuff like that. So he'll know when he's ready.
For a guy who played every single match in his rookie season, now he's going to be sidelined for a little bit. How's his morale?
Well, obviously he's down in the dumps a little bit, but injuries happen. I think that's reality. He was pretty resolute on trying to get back to help us, last couple games and into the playoffs, but, we'll see.
You guys thrived last year when Clint went down. I know you thought he obviously would have probably been better with him,
yeah.
But are you guys set up in a similar fashion this year? If Jordan's out, that you guys can still excel and thrive?
We still have a deep team. I mean, Bruin and Dempsey have been scoring a pile of goals. We need to get some of the other guys to chip in there a little bit to account for Jordan. It'll be an adjustment just, what style of play we use without Jordan. Jordan was very effective stretching the field for us, so we'll need to solve that one. But we have a strong enough team to compete on any given Saturday or Sunday.
After Will Bruin, who's your first go-to guy up there as a striker?
Well, I mean, we've got two guys on the roster, really, and Lamar's kind of a, pseudo kind of number 9, more of a slasher like Jordan than actual back-to-goal guy. But it's Bruin and Deuce. Those are the forwards we got on our team. And then, we'll fill in with, Lamar on occasion if we want to stretch the field and, getting some more, attacks from our wide guys. That's going to try and solve it.
Clint has played forward for U.S. at times. Would you ever imagine putting him up there?
Yeah. I mean, we're a pretty open-minded staff. I mean, we're going to take each game at a time. If you guys are talking about that, I mean, I think last World Cup, right? You guys have better memory. Didn't Altidore go down and Dempsey played up top? And he did great. So they made it to the qualification round, so we'll see.
Did you guys appeal towards his red, and were you told anything about that yet?
Yeah. So I think pretty much, well, all of my people thought it wasn't a red. I didn't think it was a red. So Garth and Chris and Tom Childs, our video guy, they put together a pretty strong presentation to the disciplinary committee. And we are appealing the red card because we don't think it's justified. Whether that appeal goes through, who's to say? Because it's still subjective. Still, it's the referee, what he saw on that play during that moment, and how good is the VAR stuff that happened during that play because it was reviewed on the field, and now we're trying to challenge that with different camera angles and some of the stuff that we picked up over the last day and a half. So we feel we have a strong case. I still feel it wasn't a red, and we'll see what happens.
What's the main thrust of the argument? That it was unintentional, that there was minimal contact?
It was, in our opinion, that the player was trying to get the ball over to his left side, that Chad Marshall was in a position to make a play in case the guy was trying to cut it back. There were some, here again where it gets subjective, there were some views that, okay, maybe Roman's knee did touch his other leg, but then there was the other view that Roman never touched him. There was no touching on the shoulder. I mean, that's the subjective side of it. But as far as the rules are concerned, if there was another defender in the vicinity that could have made a play, and if the player was going away from goal, those are the two things that we feel pretty strongly about.
Jovino didn't make the 18 last game. Is he available for this week?
He's available for this weekend.
How's he doing?
He's doing great. He's working hard. He's working really hard.
So 12 unbeaten, 12 games in a row unbeaten now. What's been the main factor in that? Just quality play? Did you figure something out midway through the season?
Well, each one of those games in the 12 has been different. I'm kind of still focused on the last 3. So I think this team has a higher ceiling. I think we can play better. We're working on it every day in training, and I'm certainly proud of the fact we're 12 games unbeaten. It just shows the resilience in the squad. That, to me, the mentality of this group, they have the right mentality to compete, to defend their championship.